Hi, I'm BanderSN, and I'm here to talk to you about one of the most important things about the video game industry, the next-gen console launch. And it's no surprise, it's been a rough couple of months. Gamers everywhere are suffering due to the shortage. And if you're watching this right now, it means that you too are struggling to find your place in the next-gen console cycle. And that is why I'm here to explain the do's and don'ts of next-gen console buying. Wake up, everybody, because it is a sad day for video games. It's been 2 months since the launch of the new Xbox and PlayStation, and gamers still have been unable to find next-gen consoles. Stock shortages plague the nation, and scalpers have run amok with inflated prices and purchase bots. You may have come to the conclusion that there is no hope. You will never be able to get a new console. Whether you're an Xbox fan or a PlayStation fan, there is nothing left to buy. Carbon-based Bander, have you had any luck getting a new console? No, it's like you said, trying to go to all these places, Walmart, Best Buy, Target, just trying to get a chance at the damn thing. It's just nothing's popping up. It's impossible. Well, I too have struggled to find a new console, but I'm not convinced there's truly a problem. And that is why I've decided to hit the streets of the village and ask the residents whether or not they've been able to secure their new console. So where do we go from here? As I said before, it's been 1 month since the launch of the new next-gen consoles, and it has easily been the most difficult time for new buyers to get into the new technology. You may be thinking to yourself, boy, that pandemic really screwed up production here. There are no consoles anywhere. Or are there? Let's go back just one generation ago to the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One's launch. In a very similar fashion to this year's console launch, the Xbox One and PlayStation 4 launched within very close proximity of each other. And while I don't have exact figures for how many units these companies sold, the PlayStation 4, by the end of August 2014, was able to sell 10 million units. 3 months later, the Xbox One surpassed 10 million units as well. Now compare that to the PlayStation 5, where Sony Interactive Entertainment has stated that their goal is to sell 11 million units by the end of March. That's 1 million units more than the PlayStation 4 with 5 months less to sell them. So it's very clear that the demand for this generation of consoles is way higher than last generation's. So by these estimates, it's clear that at the very least Sony has made more PS5s within this period of time than they did PS4s. And if you link the fact that the new Xboxes are selling out just as fast as the PlayStation 5s, it's clear that Microsoft has similar estimates on their end. Now take the fact that all the consoles are sold out, and that sales estimates are significantly higher than last gen, and it's clear that demand for these consoles have vastly exceeded the previous generation. It's not necessarily the fact that they couldn't make enough units, or that the pandemic slowed down production, but that demand is so high for these new consoles that Sony and Microsoft just can't keep up with it. Now what does all this business talk mean for you, the consumer? It means that you might actually be able to get a console pretty quickly now. As we enter the new year, we should start to see production numbers ramp up significantly. And eventually, within the year, we should start to see these consoles available on a regular basis. But, if you're really that desperate to get a next-gen console, you better heed this warning. So you're thinking of buying from a scalper. Well, let me tell you why that's a terrible idea. You see, the more scalpers we buy from, the more scalpers appear. The problem just gets worse. You get the console, sure, but at what cost? Your pride, your paycheck, and the further degradation of our capitalist society, hell-bent on making you spend every possible dollar until there's nothing left. Yes, that console may be important, but at $800, $1,000, $1,300? Yes, that console may be awesome, but just wait. The PlayStation isn't going anywhere. They'll make more Xboxes, you'll have another chance. But if you are thinking of buying from a scalper, just remember Poggers. Poggers stands for Players Overpay for Game Consoles Given Eventual Restocks Simps. Now you may be thinking, are scalpers really that big of a deal? I mean, how prevalent are they? Well, I'll tell you. I did have a bit of a run-in with a scalper myself. Yeah, I will admit that was a very good offer, and that seminar was very informative. When it comes to avoiding scalpers, the best practice is to buy from licensed retailers or trusted friends. If you do find yourself on one of the more promiscuous websites like eBay or Craigslist, here are 3 traits that all scalpers share that you definitely want to look out for. Number 1, they always overhype what they're selling. Check out this brand new, pristine condition PlayStation 5. It will literally give you daily back rubs. Number 2, they hide key information in the fine print. Don't fall for a fake but technically legal posting. Isn't that right, carbon-based Bander? Oh my god, a PlayStation 5! And only $840! What a steal! And number 3, they are a creature of habit, and therefore, their migration pattern is very easy to predict. Okay, so Walmart should have PS5s tomorrow at noon. And they also carry, ooh, perfect. Now I can use this to trap the scalper. Aha!
We got him now!
At the end of the day, scalpers just want to make money. It takes a lot of effort to get their operations running, and they're definitely willing to defend their way of business. If a sale goes south, they'll just move on to the next person without a second thought. They don't care about you, they care about your dollar. It's best to just avoid them entirely. Besides, when talking about a next-gen console, there will always be more stock eventually. This isn't some $600 limited edition 3DS or a $60 Lucina amiibo. It was worth it. This is a basic video game console. Unless you're absolutely desperate to play one of the few next-gen exclusive games, there isn't a point to paying such a ridiculous price for one. Besides, by the time there are more consoles available, there will not only be a bigger selection of games, but most of the first edition bugs in these consoles will be solved, and everything will be on sale. Which, by the way, is why I always recommend a regular PS5 or a Series X. The discless PS5 or the Series S are good as well, but physical games go on sale way faster than digital games. The sales are way cheaper, and there's always a retailer with some deal going on. Trust me, it is worth it. By the time the end of the generation comes around, you'll more than make up for the extra cost with a handful of discounted games. Now I'm sure by now you'll agree that there is no need to panic about next gen. Patience is key, and scalpers are never worth it. But just in case... Alright, look, you messed up. You bought from a scalper. Look where that got you. How much did you spend? $1,000? Well, I hope it was worth it. At the end of the day, it's your decision. But I hope you'll consider the risks a little more carefully next time. But hey, At least you got a next-gen console and not some sack of rocks, right? Guys, it finally came. Brand new PlayStation 5. Finally. Got it off eBay. $1,100. A little pricey. That's okay. It's in the past. Money's... Who cares at this point? Because we finally got our next-gen console, baby. Are you kidding me? Another Series X? Come on! Look, if there's any takeaway from this madness, it's that if you want a console, you have options. And it won't be long now until they're readily available. With how successful this launch has been for both companies, I'm sure they're ramping up production as we speak. So give it some time, no need to deal with scalpers, it's just not worth it. Right, carbon-based Bander? This one was just a cat.